and all of a sudden you send us some pictures of how you're hopping on a private jet. Like, how was that feeling from going from nothing, like you said, literally scrubbing toilets and working, door dashing and doing all that, to literally the week after hopping on a private jet with some very successful people? What was going through your mind? So super excited for today's podcast, because today we have a very, very special guest, someone that's very close to me, and someone that we have mentored for the past few years and has surpassed us in every single way possible. This person has gone through everything. This person has shown my dad that anything's possible. That if they were able to do it and get to where they are, we're able to get there as well. But it wasn't like that before, because we actually started trying to get her mindset straight and figure out her life. So I want to introduce to you guys a very, very special person, and that's my sister, Johana Cortez.
No, well, thank you for that kind intro. And before anything, I just want to cheers real quick, because we talked about making this podcast. we talked about making this podcast for a minute now, and hold on, let me take a drink.
Take a little sip.
And
we're getting crunk today.
So we talked about making this podcast last year, and it was just a matter of time. You know, I know it was gonna happen because that's who we are. You know, that's what my parents are, and when they say they're gonna do something, they do it. So when that topic came up, that we should do a podcast, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, so here we are, and thanks to you, thanks to my dad, honestly, who helped so much, putting this whole studio.
Yeah, shout out to Pops for making it happen.
Yeah, and so we all like put a little bit of, our time and energy into this, and yeah, I mean, I'm so proud of just being here, sitting in these chairs and talking to these mics. And yeah, so
well, yeah, no, thank you for letting me have you on the podcast. You're one of the persons when we first started doing this that I was like, I want to sit her down, and even though that I know what you do for work and everything, like I don't know the whole story. I mean, I know parts of it because of obviously we're related, but I just wanted to have you here and for you to talk to us about your story. You can tell us what you do. What is it that you do for a living? A lot of people know that I have a sibling that's doing videography and all that, but they don't know the backstory about you or who you are. And I think it's really important for people to know who you are.
So what I do, I make videos for a living. Honestly, I never thought that I would actually say that. And honestly, like just saying it out loud makes me like emotional, because there was a time where, I went to nursing school and I spent 5 years of my life, not only the time, but like the money I had to pay it out of pocket. So when I decided like this is not for me, like I felt like everything just like collapsed, because I feel like I lost like my identity. I didn't know what I wanted to do really. I mean, I kind of did, but I saw it as a hobby. So it just kind of made me like disappointed and I felt like I just like disappointed all of you guys. So when I started in photography, that made me really happy, but I wasn't making any money. Oh. And back then, like me and you, we used to like bump heads a lot. Right. Way more than right now. Yeah. Because you would tell me like, dude, like you need to get your stuff together and shit. You know, and you were like in a complete different like world. Like your mindset was like, you know, very like different from mine, because, you know, I would like work and then I would spend my paycheck going on trips with my friends or going partying, clubbing, all this stuff. And you would just like tell me like, dude, like what's going on? Like, come on, like you need to get your stuff together, your shit together. And you would tell me like, oh, you would go to these business conferences and then you would tell me all this stuff. And like, I was like, I don't even want to hear it. Like, I didn't want to put in the effort, I guess.
Well, you were ignorant.
I was ignorant because I didn't really believe that just by listening to people that you can change your whole life. And I remember you telling me like years ago, maybe like 5-6 years ago, you're like, oh dude, like this year or next year we're gonna make $250,000. And I was like this fool, like I mean, cause like, dude, you know, we're like, you know, what we went through, like how we like grew up, like we didn't really have much. And to just hear that like $250,000 in a year, like it just seemed like so out of reach that it made me look at you like you were crazy. And I remember the following year you told me, you were like, oh dude, like we didn't make $250,000 or something like that. And I was like, kind of like, bro, I told you, like that's just crazy. And you were like, oh well, we made like 1.7 million or something like that. And I was like, that was like a slap in the face, you know. And I was like, dude, like if you really put your mind into something, like you could do it. And that's what you were like telling me, but I just didn't want to like listen, and because I didn't think it was possible. And you know how they say like, oh, like people think you're crazy until you actually get it done. That was basically what happened. So you told me about going to this business conference, and I was still like pretty broke. And when you told me how much it was, I was like, bro, come on, like they're ripping you off. Like, how are you gonna go and like spend that much money on like an event like that? And like I was like, no, I can't spend that much money. Like that took me like I don't know how many months to like save. And at the end of the day, like I just like, I remember I was like in my bed, like in my room, not doing anything. And I was like, dude, like I actually like I really want to make this work, but like I need help. Like I don't know, I've never ran a business, so how would I expect it to like succeed if I really don't have the tools or like the knowledge? And that's when I was like, all right, whatever, like I'll go on this business event, which was in California, in Malibu. And next thing you know, like I just like I learned so many things, and it just like inspired me, mostly because we were around people that looked like us, you know, and just so many people that were so hungry for success, and they just like were like on a different level of like mindset than I was. And I looked up to everybody there, and I was like, this is where I belong. You know, I don't want to be that person that's living paycheck to paycheck and just, you know, not doing anything impactful in my life. So I went there, and you know how I took my camera, I did a little video, I got hired. Long story short, I got hired, and they sent me a message on Instagram, and I moved to LA. And it was a crazy move, but I was just like so determined and like tired of like my old life of just, you know, like being broke. So I work there for like 9 months. That's actually where I learned how to do all this, like this podcast. Yeah. So shout out to them. I got paid to learn so much just by, you know, listening to a lot of very successful people. Very successful people. I mean, we're talking about like billionaires. And so just being around that type of people just made me even more hungry to make even more money. So after 9 months, I was like, I'm out of here. You know, I want to start building my own, you know, my own stuff. And thankfully, like, everything's been going very well. And it's crazy to even like think that I've actually hired people to work to help me. I wouldn't say work for me. I would say help me. And just being able to help others as well as like other people help me. It's just like that's been like one of the coolest parts of doing what I do. So I feel like I still haven't really answered your question. I'll just summarize it real quick. So after working there for 9 months, I opened my own company and I started filming football, like American football. And also I reached out to this amazing director who gave me the opportunity to work on set one day. And after that, I just like connected with them, and they've been hiring me to work with really big artists. There's just like so many names to name. But I mean, we're talking about like very big artists, probably even like top 5 in the world. So it's been a crazy journey these past 3 years.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you went from zero, from having no direction, to finding what you were passionate about, and then learning as much as you could, and then starting your own business, and then not doing great things. Like it's so crazy for me because I feel like I've heard many stories, but then I still go back to your story, and it's just like, it's insane how you went from nothing to now owning your own business, and then, well, just being super successful. So it was a crazy move for you, for moving from Minnesota to LA. You moved out there without knowing anyone. I mean, like you were talking about. So we went to this event that I actually took you to that event so you can learn more about yourself and get your mindset straight, so that you can come back, because you were working for us part-time before we went to this event, and I want her to come back and get her mindset straight and then just crush it in my business. But as soon as we got here, what was it, like a day or two?
Yeah.
The next day?
Yeah.
The next day much. you got a message from the
owner of the event.
It was like 1 or 2 days after that, you got a message from the owner of the event. There was one of my mentors saying, "Hey, Johana, I love the video that you made. I want you to come work for us." And you were I remember you were fucking freaking out. You called me. You called me like right when they had called you, or they had sent you the message. And you were like, beep, wants to, you can put like a beep.
Yeah.
You were like, wants to have me go to LA and work for him. And you were just, I remember that you were just going crazy when you got that message. And then what was it, like a week after, you were already living in LA?
Yeah. After
saying that you've never been to LA in your life. It was your first time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, right after, you got a message from the owner of the van telling you, "Hey, I want you to come work for me." And the next day you took off, not knowing anyone in LA, not having a place to live, not having a car, not having anything. You took that risk. that a lot of people, including myself, would be super, super hard to do. How did you grow the fucking ovaries to get that, to take that step?
Yeah.
Like, how did you do that? Because, I mean, you were the closest one to my parents, more than I was. But even then, like, I don't think I would have been able to take that step. So, like, tell us about how, like, you were able to just say fuck it and move across the country.
So honestly, I think it was just a lot of things that accumulated, and just knowing that I was in a hole. Like, I had hit bottom. Like, I was depressed. You saw me. My parents saw me. And it was just like a very hard time. I ended up in the hospital a few times. And just when I finally had like dang, like I can actually hold on to something, to my dream.
Yeah.
Like, why would you let it go?
Yeah.
You know? So I just didn't want to let it go. And honestly, it was a little scary, but at the same time, like, I was just like, this has to happen. Like, this has to happen for me. I'm a good person. I truly believe that I'm a good person. And like, I just felt like I deserved it. And I felt for a lot of part of my life that I didn't deserve a lot of things in life. But I was like, I need to do this. And it was pretty easy after that, because I was busy. I was like working 7 days a week. And not only that, like you said, I was working for you guys. Yeah. I was also door dashing. I was also cleaning houses. I was cleaning toilets, and I didn't want to do that anymore. But just thinking about how I was literally like scrubbing toilets like a week before moving to LA. And when I moved to LA, I hopped on a private jet. And it was just like, it felt like a dream. Like, I was like I kept like pinching myself. Like, is this real? Like, what the heck, dude? Like, how is this even happening? Like, seriously, how is it happening? And I still, till this day, I'm like, I think about all of the things that I've done in the past 3 years. And I'm just like, is this real? And it's just been crazy.
So when you got there, you didn't have a car, you didn't have a place to live. Where did you?
Yeah.
Like, once you got there, what happened?
Well, I was able to find a place thanks to a friend who had a cousin's uncle or something. Like, it was just like crazy, but it just popped up, and they sent me the pictures and like the place, and I was like, yes, I'll take it. Yeah. Like, I'll take it. You know, I needed like somewhere to stay, like ASAP.
Did you stay there like the first day you got there?
Yeah.
Or did you stay in a hotel?
Well, when I first got there, I stayed in West Hollywood.
Tell us the story, tell us the whole story. As like, we went to the event, we come back, this guy texts you, the owner of the event texts you that he wants to hire you. You don't hesitate. You say, hell yeah, I'm down. Yeah. Let's do it. You didn't have any responsibility here. So you hop on a plane the next day, and you get down. You go to Cali. And tell us what happens after you land. Okay, so yes, so he sends me the message, and he asked me like, hey, when can you start? No, actually, he sent me a message telling me that he was offering me a full-time job. And I was just like playing around. I was like, all right, when do I start? And he was like, today, tomorrow. And dude, I like pulled over. I was in the freeway. Yeah. I was actually in the freeway, and I pulled over, and I looked. Dude, I've never like moved my finger so fast. I looked for like the next available flight, which was in the morning, because it was already like kind of night, like pretty late. And I looked for the next available flight, which was in the morning. And like, I called you. I FaceTimed you. Yeah. And I told you, I was like, bro, I'm moving to LA. Yeah. And you were like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, I remember that guy like that you told me about, the event that we went to.
few days ago. Yeah, so he offered me a full-time job, so I'm moving to LA. And you're like confused. And then I came home and then I told my parents and they're also like a little confused.
Yeah.
Like what's going on? But it's crazy cuz like you guys were like down. Like you guys were okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, like you guys didn't say like no, like you're crazy, like what if you get kidnapped or something, you know?
Yeah.
But no, like all of you, like you, my mom and my dad, like we're on board. So that I was like, bro, like that's all I need, you know, you guys' blessing. And then I moved to LA. So I get there and I booked a hotel in West Hollywood. And if you know, West Hollywood is
ghetto.
No, it's expensive.
Oh, my bad.
That's how you know you're not from LA, or you've never. I mean, you've been there, but you still, yeah. No, West Hollywood is nice. Okay. Which was crazy because I didn't know where the office was, so I had to go and do an interview before anything because they didn't really like know me, so they just wanted me to go in the office and like get to know me, get to know my personality and stuff like that. And it was crazy because it ended up being like half a block away from where I stayed. The office was like half a block from the hotel I stayed at. Yeah. And it was I got that hotel because it was like the only like there was like very limited available hotels because it was like Valentine's weekend. So you know, hotels were like booked, I guess. Yeah. That one came up. That one came up. And so yeah, they asked me, you know, I feel like when they asked me if I was in a relationship.
Who did?
When the owners they interviewed me and they asked me if I was in a relationship, and I was like no, and I don't plan on being in a relationship. Like work is like
your main priority.
Yeah, my main priority. So obviously they were like, oh shoot, like that's good because we need someone to be available whenever. Yeah. And I remember my first week that I started, I worked the 7 days, Monday through Sunday, and then again Monday. I think I worked I worked a lot because we would fly on the weekends. We would fly out.
Yeah, mind you, just going back a little bit, before you got hired as a full-time videographer, you have never done videography in your life before.
That's true.
So that's the craziest part. Mind you, you've never done videography in your life.
Honestly, I feel like thanks to YouTube University, which, you know, I learned a lot of things from there. I made a video. I took my camera, I made a video, and I edited. I think I uploaded about 2 days after the event because we still had to fly back to Minnesota, and then I had to work. I had to clean a house the next day, and I remember I had that video done and I was at work and I was literally like, I was scrubbing a toilet, bro. I was scrubbing a toilet with one hand, and then with the other one I was like uploading the video. And then a couple hours later, they commented saying, hey, we love this video, can you email it to us? And I got so excited. I was like, dang, like someone actually liked my work and that they wanted to repost it on their page. And I was like, oh, like I was like already like starstruck. I was like, oh my god, like that's so cool that someone actually liked a video that I did just for fun. It was for me. It wasn't for them. Yeah. And so.
But you did it so fast.
Yeah.
Faster than any videographer that was at the event, and that was like their first like video that they have gotten from the event. So that's why when they saw your work, they were like, damn, this thing's pretty good. And she did it super fast.
Yeah, I did it overnight. I was just so excited. I just wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like when someone sees the hunger and just like the obsession over it, like they're like, oh shit, they're like, oh crap, like this person like actually loves doing what they do, and they're pretty quick at it, so why not hire this person? They didn't even know I lived in Minnesota. They didn't have to know that. Who cares that I live somewhere else? So yeah, I was like, I'll move to LA if that's what it takes, you know, to work as a full-time videographer. Even though I don't do that for a living, I've never done it. I had probably done maybe like 3 little videos before of you guys.
Yeah, just
like
random content.
Yeah, like random content, which I didn't think was good. I still don't think it like, I look back at those videos, I'm like it's crazy to think that someone would actually hire me. But I was just so excited, and just like the music, I feel like you actually said this, that I'm actually really good at editing, and it's just, I feel like it's that, like I have like a lot of ideas in my head that I just put out in the computer, and like my thoughts, like they just, it's so cool. I think it's like, editing so cool, and I feel like that's why like it's been going so well, because I actually love what I do.
All right, so now you're in LA and you're working with this really successful couple, and you're doing all their social media and you're doing all their content, and then we know you're down there, and all of a sudden you send us some pictures of how you're hopping on a private jet. Like, how was that feeling from going from nothing, like you said, literally scrubbing toilets and working door dashing and doing all that, to literally the week after hopping on a private jet with some very successful people? What was going through your mind?
I remember that day, the first time I've ever like hopped on a private jet. It feels like it was yesterday. Although it's been 3 years. This month actually, and I remember sitting in my seat, literally like this, and I was trying so hard to not cry. I wanted to cry so bad, dude. Like, it was,
just couldn't believe it.
I actually went into the bathroom to like fucking cry, because I just couldn't believe it that was happening. It felt like a very proud moment, and also like very like surreal, because I was like this is dope, you know, like I was like emotional, because it was just like so many like mixed emotions. I was like oh my god, like this is so crazy that this is happening for me. Like, I wanted to cry. And at the same time, I'm like, bro, like, I'm in a freaking private jet. Like, like, what the heck? Like, how did I even get here? Like, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It really didn't.
Yeah.
Because they hired me for something that I've never done for a living. And I didn't really have much experience. But I did have a lot of hunger, and I knew that they could see that. And just talking about, you know, like a little bit of like where I came from and stuff like that. Like, it was really dope, because you know, they're also Mexican. Yeah. They're also Mexican, and the fact that I was Mexican, like, it's just, we related. We could relate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very beautiful feeling.
All right, so 9 months into your job with this successful couple, and flying private, and learning so much, and meeting super successful entrepreneurs and business owners, you quit that job. So you literally went from having someone's dream job for 9 months, and you quit. Tell us, like, why is it that you quit, and Tell us what happened then.
So the main reason why I quit that job is because I learned so much about how to grow as a business, as an individual, and just being around so many great, successful people that are very hungry for success. Like, dude, like they say, like, oh, how do you, I don't know how you say it in English, but, ¿cómo se dice? Oh, like, júntate con, enséñame con quién te juntas y te diré quién eres.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So if you're around like successful people that are very hungry for success, like you're gonna, become that. And I just wanted to grow more. Like that wasn't enough anymore.
Yeah.
Even though it was like my dream job, like it was just not enough anymore. Yeah. I wanted more. And another opportunity like presented itself, so I took it.
Yeah.
I took it, and it was like another crazy opportunity that came out of nowhere. Yeah. I was on a plane to visit my mom for her birthday, and I was just editing some stuff. A guy sitting next to me was just like looking over my computer, and I could feel that he was looking at me. And I just like turned and I looked at him, and I was like, hey, like, how's it going? And he just like told me that he liked my work. He asked me if I filmed that. I was like, yeah, I did. And I don't know, he liked my personality. He liked that I was just like very chill, and that I liked my work so much that I was doing it on the plane. And you hardly ever see people like working on a plane.
You never know who's looking.
Yeah, you never know who's looking or who's like sitting next to you.
Yeah. So who was this person? Tell us a little bit about who this person was.
So I'll say his name because I've asked him before if it was okay if I could say his name. Yeah. His name is Ali. He's with Under the Radar, and we exchanged numbers, and he messaged me about a week later, and he asked me if I was busy that weekend after, and I told him no, and he told me that there was a shoot with some kids that play football, and he asked me if I was down to go and film, and I was like, yeah, of course, even though I didn't even know like anything about football. Yeah. I barely knew how to film, let alone football. So I said yes. I remember like even at work during my break, I would go and like I would search like stuff about football, because I literally didn't know anything. Like we didn't like grow up watching football. So I accepted it, and I asked like my previous employers if I could like borrow a lens, and they said it was okay. So I took their lens, which is like a pretty expensive lens, which is the lens that I'm using right now. I mean, I bought this one, but it's like similar to that one. Yeah. And the quality just came really good. But hold on, let me backtrack. So I took that lens, and we actually end up going to Mississippi, the state of Mississippi, and that's where I met like I think it was like 5 football players. They were in high school, but they were like the top high school football players
in
the country. So like, dude, like it was just such a crazy opportunity that they gave me, being in the same place with them, let alone like flying with them and filming everything. And that's where I met those kids and their parents, and this other guy named Coach Landers. Shout out to Coach Landers, who like, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but he's been pretty big in my life as well. But I met those a lot of amazing people in that trip. And ever since, I've been working with them even till this day. I still work with them, and they've been giving me so many opportunities. And yeah, so they asked me if I was available the next weekend and the weekend after that, stuff like that. And they really liked my work because I was quick. I gave them the photos literally the next morning. I didn't sleep at all. The night before or that night, I probably slept like 3 hours in those 2 days. Like, no joke. And they were just like so surprised that I had already edited the photos and delivered it to them that next morning. And yeah, so that's where it all started. They really liked my work and they wanted to continue hiring me. So I just quit my other job. I put my 2 weeks in, and I just knew, for some reason, I just knew that it was going to be the start of, something good that I could do for myself and continue to grow more.
So yeah, that's when J. Cortez Media started, right? That's when you started your own business. Started your own business, and then you started doing things for your own instead of working for someone else.
Yeah, that's correct. So, because I was able to work for myself, I contacted people. I contacted this director, which I mentioned before. I had contacted him like years before, and I told him that I really admire him and that I really wanted to work around him, even if it was just like cleaning up or whatever. Like, I just wanted to be on set. Like, that's been one of like my biggest dreams, just to like be on set. And he replied to me, and he invited me. The first time I had ever been on set was for the French Montana and Doja Cat music video, Handstand.
Yeah.
And dude, it was a full day. It was like, I think it was like 14 hours or something like that. It was so crazy. I felt like it went by so quick. Like, everybody on set just had so much energy, the directors, everyone, literally everyone. And it was just so fun. Like, it just felt like I just wanted to do it again. By the time the music video shoot was over, like, I was sad. I was like, dude, like, I don't want it to be over. And I remember I went back to my car, and like, I cried so much, because it's like people that I actually listen to, And
I remember that time that you had told us that you were gonna be on set with some famous artist, and we're like, what the fuck? How did that happen? And you just told us the whole story.
Yeah.
All right. So just like a real recap on everything. So pretty much we go to this event that I took you to, that I told you that it was gonna really help you with your mindset. We come back from the event. You upload a video of the event and its speakers, and upload it into Instagram, and it pretty much went like viral. I mean, it had a lot of views, and the owner of the event hits you up and tells you that he wants you to work full time for him because he really liked the video that you did. One video, mind you, you were not a videographer. You done just this one video. You uploaded into Instagram. You moved down to LA, not knowing anyone. Again, you didn't know anyone down there. You didn't have a house. You didn't have a car. And you literally start getting around super successful people. Start flying private. You start learning much more about the industry. And you freaking quit your dream job for starting your own business. Which I remember you called me and told me that you were doing this, and I told you no. I told you it was a bad idea. So right now, I don't think I've ever told you this in person, but thank you for not listening to me. Thank you for not listening to me, because if you were listening to me, you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing now. I think you've taken so many risks that has taken you here, which has also taught me that even though I feel like I'm a really big risk taker, maybe I'm not enough compared to the things that you have done, you know? So that I've also learned a lot from you, just knowing that you've taken that freaking huge risk. And so yeah, you start your own business, you meet a person that introduces you to football, and you start filming football for literally the best players in the nation. They're getting scouted to like the best universities in the country.
Yeah.
And then you reach out to a guy that you really looked up to, that's a video director, and you start working on set with him. So you worked with a lot of very famous entrepreneurs and business owners, but you also work with very famous artists. Can you name a few of the people that you worked with, for the people that don't know?
So recently we worked with Peso Pluma, Gabito, Oscar Maidon, Cristian Nodal, French Montana. We've been on set with Doja Cat, with Neo, with Lil Baby, Roddy Ricch. Also, just apart from music videos, I've also worked with Kevin Hart, with Fabletics. If you know me, I'm always wearing Fabletics. I'm always repping Fabletics, just because I'm so proud that I've been able to work with them. Apart from music videos and companies or brands, I've also worked with entrepreneurs like Tim Grover. If you don't know who he is, he's the trainer of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. Also Les Brown. If you don't know who Les Brown is, he did that famous speech, when the lights are out. I'll put the video.
Nobody believes in you. You lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day, and saying to yourself, it's not over until I win.
Honestly, there's just like so many like amazing people that I've worked with. They're, you know, it's just been a privilege to even be in the same room, breathing the same air.
So one of the craziest things is that you've been around super successful people, businessmen, millionaires, even billionaires. And again, it's crazy because of where we come from.
So for all of those that don't know, I was born in Tijuana, Baja California Norte. 100% orgullosa de ser mexicana. I'm currently under DACA. So those who don't know what that is, it's deferred action for childhood arrivals, which means that I am able to work and travel within the U.S. I'm not.
Sorry. There you go.
For all of those that are watching and that are undocumented, I just want to say one thing, that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. If I was able to do it, so can you. So by saying that, I just, you know, I hope that this like inspires at least one person out there to go out and chase their dreams. So
yeah, no, and it's good that you talk about that, because many that don't know us, we are immigrants to this country, and for a very, very long time we have worked our asses off to be where we are now. And like you said, anyone can do it. Anyone that wants to freaking do something here can do it. You just gotta put in the damn work. It takes work to get shit done. So once again, anyone can do it. Just fucking work for it and get it done. And don't let anyone tell you that porque no tienes papeles o porque no tienes seguro no puedes hacer esto. You can do whatever the fuck you want, and anything's possible. So many ways. We did it. We are a product of that. If you work for it, it can be done without having an immigration status.
That's true. Like I said, like I don't have papers. I'm undocumented. I have DACA. And I'm still able to, you know, I was able to build my own business and work with some of the most successful people in the world.
Yeah, so you've taken some of the biggest risks in the family. For people that are wanting or thinking about taking a risk, what would you say to them?
Honestly, you never know until you try it. You know, for when it comes to me, all the opportunities that I've taken, like if I was too scared to move by myself in LA, like I wouldn't have taken the second step or the third step or the fourth step. You know, you just have to go for it, and if it doesn't work out, then keep going. You know, it took you and my dad how many years until the business took off? Like over a decade, until you guys started seeing the fruits of labor. And a lot of people, especially nowadays, people get so like impatient because they don't see the results right away. You have to be patient and just keep going. Keep going until it happens, dude. We have one life. Just make the best out of it. You know, why not have the best life possible if it's the only one we have?
All right, sis. Well, I just want to say thank you for giving us part of your time. Just, you know how proud we are of you. I mean, I don't have to keep telling you all the time. You make me, my parents, very happy of all your success that you've been having. Know that it's not easy being across the country and not having any family around you or a support system, as you can say. But you're fucking killing it.
No, but thank you, bro, for taking the time and the energy to, you know, interview me. And honestly, I feel so happy and blessed to be here doing what we set out to do.
Thank you, sis. So if you guys like what we're doing and you like our content, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.